Hi everyone. How is everyone? It's Sunday. It's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. I took yesterday off. I'm sure you noticed. I actually had a full day off. The first full day I've actually allowed myself in a very long time. I have been working extremely hard the last few 14 months or so to build my company and make it profitable. And as I'm finally becoming more profitable, I'm like, okay, I need a day off. All right. So, as always, right before I went off last online on Friday night, I was going to go shopping. Well, just so you know, before we get started, I picked up the new Naked palette by Urban Decay, the Honey palette, which, by the way, is absolutely gorgeous. And that's what I'm wearing today. So that's one of the many things I got at Sephora. I actually tried to get some false eyelashes and I fought with those and that didn't work, and I have a pimple on my chin. So let's just dig right into this. This is Katie at her best. All right. So Kate plus 8. Isn't that funny? Because in this video, or in this new episode or special of Kate Gosselin and her children, it's actually Kate plus 6. 2 of the children are not there, Hannah and Colin. The latest special will air on Tuesday on TLC, but I was actually able to catch a premiere because my streaming network or my streaming service offers it, and they offered a free sneak peek premiere. So I watched it for you today so that you don't have to waste your time. Now, we'll talk a little bit about what is in the episode. And as promised, I will be continuing my series where we go through Robert Hoffman's book. And I am going to be talking about Colin and her relationship from how she described him as a child in her journals. So that will be coming up this week. All right. So the episode on TLC, now let me tell you what the name of it is. It will air on Tuesday night, and it is the special. It just says episode 7, season 7, episode 1. Carrie and Maddy are going to college, and they are touring college campuses around the eastern part of the United States. And the girls just say very unapologetically that they do not want to attend the same school together. They don't want to be together. They've been together their whole lives. But they provide an anecdote about how when they were first in kindergarten, they were put into the same class. And after that year, they told their mother that they never, ever wanted to be in the same class again. And they said since then, they've never been in the same classes, and they don't want to go to the same college because they are different people with different experiences. Interesting. So Maddy and Cara go to look at colleges, and they like I just said, they don't want to go to the same school. Maddy doesn't want to go to a small school because she says that she wants to blend in for the first time in her life. And she wants to go have her own experiences and sort of get lost in the crowd of a larger college. She wants to have her freedom and independence away from her family. And that's kind of like the telling part for me, was that was something that I thought about when I was, that age. Like, I want to get lost in the crowd. But her saying that she wants to be like blending in for the first time in her life, that she's never been able to be anonymous. And so that's why she wants to pick a large school. Now, they tour a small school on the special. I didn't even remember the name of the school, very tiny. And they both decide they don't want to go to a small school because it just reminds them of high school. Maddy has no idea what she wants to study for college, but Cara says that she wants to study math with a minor in Spanish, and then she'd like to do a pre-med track and eventually go on to medical school. And Maddy says that she doesn't know what she wants to major in. She just knows she doesn't want to study math or science. So during the tour, they look at all the college, they look at the different, buildings, the places for the lectures, the classes. They meet the dean. They go ring a bell where they can talk about the things they're thankful for. They tour the dorm rooms. they talk about how crappy college dorm rooms are, and Maddy says that she is not going to share a room. She refuses. She's going to apply for single housing because she is not going to meet someone and then share a room with them. I'm getting the sense from Maddy over and over and over again. She literally cannot wait to get as far away from this house as possible and as far away from her mother as possible. They both talk a lot about how they cannot wait to leave their mother. They're not going to miss their mother. And some of that is normal, but at the same time, I'm sure part of that is their mother has had a ton of control over their lives, their whole lives. They've been on TV their whole lives. They say they love their family, but they don't want to be with their family on a daily basis anymore, which is pretty typical for an 18-year-old. Maddy is over it, according to her, about living with her family, and she will not miss her siblings either. So Kate doesn't believe them. So while they're like unpacking, they bring this massive trailer, and the producers walk up to Kate and they're like, well, Hannah's not here. And she discusses the fact that Hannah decided to stay home with her father, and this was the second trip they've taken without Hannah. And she said the kids are getting older, they're making their own choices. She doesn't necessarily like it, and she misses Hannah, but she understands it, but she can't do anything to change it. Noticeably absent in this entire show is not one time, not once, does anyone, Kate, the twins, or any of the 4 sextuplets that are left, Alexis, Joel, Aiden, and Hannah, Leah, not any of them mention Colin. No one. Maddy, Cara, nothing. It's like Colin doesn't exist. Kate never utters his name. She talks about Hannah multiple times, does not talk about Colin. It's like Colin does not exist anymore. So, after they tour the colleges, Kate decides that she needs to actually bring them to a driving lesson because they are seniors in high school and they have not learned how to drive yet. Because Kate says that she can't teach her kids how to drive. And she said that it's not her job to teach them how to drive because she's a good driver, but she can't handle teaching other people how to drive. And other parents feel the same way because she's talked to a lot of them. And the girls say that it's super frustrating because they have had their permits for like a year and their mother refuses to teach them how to drive. They've only ever driven a handful of times, and they're at an age where they should be able to go do things with their friends, but they can't because their mom won't let them get their driver's license. And Cara talks about how, we're at an age where we could actually help mother, and that's, they all call her mother. Not one of these kids refers to Kate as mom, which I don't know if you grew up in a house where people said mother, but I didn't. That seems very formal to me, and that's sort of the relationship I feel like these kids have with their mother, is it's very formal. It's not lovey-dovey, there's no touching, there's no hugging, it's very distant. And they even talk about how they don't even really have close relationships. They can't really say why they love each other. They just do because they're a family. Anyways, Cara provides a story about how, she should be able to go to the store and go grocery shopping, for instance, for her mom, or run to the store and pick up something that her mom might need. And instead of her mom allowing her to get her license, she says her mom will drive her to the grocery store, make her go shopping by herself in the grocery store, buy everything, bring it out to the car, put it in the car, and her mom will literally wait in the parking lot while she does this. This is the most controlling mother in the world. Like, who does that? Who drops their kids off at a grocery store, makes them shop, and then stays in the parking lot? It's beyond bizarre to me. So anyway, they're doing their driving test. Kate says, well, the driving instructor told me that he didn't even teach his kid how to drive. Here's the thing. If you're afraid of, my thought was like, the entire time this whole conversation was going on about the driving, I kept thinking, Kate, maybe if you wouldn't have alienated your twins from their father, he might have been able to help them learn how to drive. Because if you're not comfortable, maybe your ex-husband might have wanted to help the kids learn how to drive. Oh wait, but you fill their heads with poison about him, and so therefore they don't want to talk to him because you've made them believe that he's the devil. So instead you're putting it all on you and saying, I can't do this, when John probably could have taught them how to drive, because that's, I don't want to be sexist, but that's, a lot of dads are like kind of into that. My dad taught me how to drive. A lot of dads, that's like their thing. They're obsessed with cars. Some women are too, but if we're going to be stereotypical, John could have done that, but nope. Again, Kate had to put it all on herself, and woe is me, I couldn't do it. And so her thing is, well, he couldn't, the driving instructor said that he couldn't teach his kids how to drive. So therefore, I'm justified. It's like, dude, your kids are 18 years old and you have not allowed them to have a license. That's weird. Like, that is so controlling. And the girls talk about all over and over and over on this catch-up special about how controlling their mother is, how competitive she is, how it's always about all about her. It's like, and that's very apparent in all of their like communication, is that the kids are very used to like Kate being the center of attention, Kate getting all of the accolades, and everything revolving around what Kate wants. And I guess to a point with a parent, but at the same time, it's almost like Kate is like a spectator, or they're queen, and they're just like her, like they're her staff. And it seems with their disconnect of calling her mother that maybe she wasn't as instrumental in actually raising them, and maybe a lot of handlers were more involved with their upbringing, because I don't know a lot of kids that refer to their mother as mother. I mean, literally mother. That's all they say. None of them call her mom. All right, so after the driving lessons, Kate talks about how she needs to bring the little kids with them on this trip, and they have to keep them occupied. Now, mind you, the sextuplets are 14 years old. They are not little kids, and yet she keeps referring to them as little kids, like they're toddlers, and they're 14. And so she says that she takes them go-kart racing, and all Kate is concerned about during this entire event is, again, making it about herself, and she wants to beat her kids. And the guy is like trying to tell them what to do, and, be careful, because if you hit the side, it's really unforgiving. You could hurt yourself. Please drive carefully, even though they go very fast. Be sure not to like crash. And of course, she is in this like insidious, like she's got to beat the kids, and Aiden and Joel will not let her pass them. And they're like doing this thing where like every time Kate tries to pass, the other car is like going like this, so she can't get around them. And she ends up like tailgating him to the point where she tries to swerve around him, and she hits the side and crashes. And then she ultimately cracks her ribs, apparently. Anyways, then everything has to stop. Everything. So all of the kids' fun stops because she wants to beat the kids, and she doesn't beat the kids. And then because she gets injured, all the cars have to stop. They have to take her out. She can't keep going. She basically ruins it. They all finish. Joel wins, I think. And she's hurt, and she's hobbling, and she has to go to the urgent care, and they tell her that she cracks a rib, and she has to wear one of those rib vests. But again, an experience that could have been fun for the kids was ruined by Kate, who wanted to beat her kids, to which Maddy says, in an interview with Productions, well, maybe you shouldn't always be trying to beat your kids and things would be more fun. Like, all of them talk over and over and over again about how competitive their mother is. Imagine trying to live in a house when you're a parent and you don't ever even let your children win. Ever. Crazy. So, flash forward, they're done now, right? They go have their lunch on a boat, it's all over, and it's like they flash forward to like present time when Cara and Maddy are getting ready to leave, all right? And they never say what schools they pick. They don't say what schools or what state they pick. They did both choose schools in New York City. No one has disclosed what those schools are, probably to protect their privacy, which is weird because Kate has literally never protected their children's privacy, but now she is. So the girls are at separate schools in New York, but not so they're close to each other, but not in the same college. So Kate says that she's going to make a special dinner for the kids, and it's a going away dinner for Maddy and for Cara. So she's going to make them crab legs. And she lets them sit in the dining room, a room that clearly is never used in her mammoth of a mansion of a home that she has been able to purchase on the backs of her children working for her their whole lives. And she covers the entire like table with plastic and all of the chairs because she doesn't want anything to get dirty or ruined. Seriously. So she makes all of the kids cover everything in plastic to eat crab legs. And all the kids are complaining because it's super ugly and it's so uncomfortable. And then they're all done and with that. And then Leah's trying to help Kate make a cake. And it's clear that Kate doesn't have any cooking skills or any baking skills. And Leah's like, I'm the one that always makes the cakes. I don't know why mom is like acting like she makes the cakes. And so like Leah's hovering over Kate and trying to tell her how to ice the cake and how bad it looks and what she should do. And Kate's like, Leah, stop mothering me. It's very apparent numerous times that Kate doesn't cook, doesn't bake, doesn't really interact with her kids outside of when they film. I mean, that was the impression I got. My opinion. I could be wrong, but their interactions are bizarre. So after they finish making the cake, they go back to an interview with Cara and Maddy, and they're talking about, they say, mom does do stuff. I guess one of the ways that she shows us that she loves us is that she cooks for us. And, sometimes like on our birthday, she'll make us like our favorite meal. And then I can't remember who it was, whether it was Cara or Maddy, probably Maddy. Maddy seems the most outspoken about how annoyed she is by her mother. It's pretty clear that Maddy like is so over Kate and doesn't like Kate at all. Kind of reminded me, remember when they were on the Today Show and they refused to like play Kate's game? Yeah, I'm pretty sure within like a couple years we're gonna have a tell-all book from one of these girls about how terrible their mom is. Anyway, Maddy or Cara says, what? Mom never cooks, ever. Mom hasn't cooked in at least a year. Not dinner, not cooked one dinner in over a year. She's got 6 kids living at home and apparently never cooks. I'm pretty sure Kate has a cook or a chef or someone doing all the cooking and child rearing because Kate has zero relationship with her kids, probably, again, only sees them when filming. And now even when she pretends that she can cook, the kids can't even like cover for her lie anymore. See, this is the fun thing about the kids growing up is that all of the cracks in her parenting and all the lies she's told are finally becoming exposed. So as they're going around, all the kids, like all the little kids, again, who are 14 years old, give their older sisters like letters and how much they love them and blah, blah, blah. And then Leah, and again, the production goes back to Maddy and Cara in an interview room, and they're like, yeah, we're just like one of those families that doesn't really hug, doesn't really touch. We don't really tell each other like why we like each other. We just, we have to like each other because we're like a family. And, I don't really know why I like my siblings. And it's funny because all of the sextuplets are like saying, I'm going to miss the fact that I have to make your lunch every day, Cara. I'm going to miss the fact that I have to do things for you. I'm going to miss the fact that, nothing is like, I'm going to miss spending time with you. Only once does that happen where Leah says that she will miss Maddy because she will go to Maddy sometimes and talk to her about how she's feeling and, have someone to confide in. And she's a good older sister in that respect. And so that's the only time they say something nice. But it's interesting that like this family doesn't have anything nice to say about. Now I understand they're teenagers, but at the same time, like generally teenagers can at least say why they like someone for the most part. I mean, when I was that age, I could at least say, oh, my brother is smart, that kind of stuff. Anyways, so they're writing all these stuff, and then Leah talks about how she's gonna miss Maddy so much because Maddie's like the one person she can talk to. And then Leah says, I don't have anyone else in this house that I can talk to because Lexi won't even talk to me anymore. So Alexis, one of the sextuplets, isn't even on speaking terms with Leah. So they're sitting on opposite sides, and the boys are in the middle. So it's like, if you were on this side, so it was Alexis, and then Aiden, and then Joel, and then Leah on the very end. And then it cuts to Alexis saying, yeah, I don't even talk to her. I am not talking to Leah anymore. It's very clear there's a lot of division in this family and a lot of upsetness and a lot of, the kids aren't happy. They don't appear happy in any part of this at all. And so Kate then provides a speech to them, and all all the speech about is about how much pain the family has been through and how people in the family keep leaving and that all of her kids aren't together anymore and that she never mentions Colin or Hannah by name, but people keep leaving. And Cara and Maddy have been through so much pain, and it's been such a hard few years for them. And they've had to manage all of this, but they've been the rocks for the family and have helped the siblings through this very difficult time. And she says, but at least you're leaving for the right reasons. So like, they're leaving the house because they're going to college. They're not leaving because, they don't get along with their mom and they think their mom's an a-hole, kind of like Colin and Hannah. So it's like she has to put little jabs in like all the time about the kids that have left. I found that incredibly odd. And it pans to an interview with Kate basically talking about how people have left the family and how the family has gotten smaller and a couple of the kids aren't there, but again, never says Colin's name once. Nothing. And the other kids, when they're interviewed, never bring up Hannah, never bring up Colin. It's like Hannah and Colin literally do not exist at all to them. It's bizarre. So at this point, my question as a viewer is, why are you calling this Kate plus 8 when there's 2 kids that the family doesn't seem to give a crap about and wants nothing to do with? Why don't you just call it what it is? Kate and her brainwashed kids that are too afraid to leave her. Because it's clear the kids that are even there aren't happy. They aren't happy with her. They find her controlling. They seem to not have a very close relationship with her. The kids, even as a whole, don't seem to have a close relationship with each other. And it's probably because every part of their lives, for their entire lives, has been on camera. So with that said, I hope for the sake of everyone involved here that Kate ends up just, I don't even know, not being such a turd. I don't know. I hope that Maddy and Cara find their strength and independence in college. College is an extremely amazing time for growth and for learning, and maybe it'll be a time for both of them to spread their wings and perhaps reflect on the lives that they have been living for the last, 18 years. Maybe it will give them some freedom and some space to realize what their mother has done to her in regards to their relationship with their father. Maybe it will provide an opportunity for them to feel like they are open to being able to reach out to their father. Maybe it will allow John the opportunity to be able to reach out to his kids. I don't know. Kate has basically made it very clear that these other 2 kids, even though it's so heartbreaking and it's such a painful thing, it's like they don't exist. And to me, as a mother, that's probably the most disgusting part of all of this, is that you want to have her on TV, TLC, to portray that she's the perfect mom, yet her own kids can't even put up this facade anymore. They say she doesn't cook, she doesn't spend time with them, she's super controlling, doesn't let them drive. They call her mother. More and more, I'm seeing how affected these kids are by being on TV, and I'm hoping at some point one of them that's still left there will speak out and have the strength to be free of this. Maybe another one of the sextuplets needs to leave. I don't know. But America needs to stop fooling themselves. I think a lot of people are already clued into this, but if you are still on the fence on whether or not Kate is this amazing mom, I would say after watching this, my assumption is nope, not even close. All right, you guys, I'll be back with more later today. Let me know what your thoughts are, if this is what you expected, if you think I'm being too biased. I don't even care. That was my impression, my opinion, and I'd love to hear yours. Bye, guys.